What's up, guys? Great to have you along for the ride today. My name is College Sports Survivor, and I welcome you back to the College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode series featuring Coach Carter and Fordham Rams basketball. So we're 14 games into Season 4, fully completing our non-conference slate last episode. The 10-4 record has us near the top of the A-10 in win percentage. And overall, I have to say, I'm pretty satisfied with where we're at. Our 4 losses have all been against quality teams, and we split with one of those teams anyway, taking one and losing one against Notre Dame. With how young this team is, I think they're growing up quickly, and the beginning of our A-10 schedule, it is a bit of a softball when you look at years past. It's not like we're opening up against St. Louis or Temple or Charlotte like we have in seasons prior. This is a game that we're favored in. We're going to get LaSalle at home. That also features a fun one-on-one matchup that we're going to be highlighting in this game. Freshman sensation Lloyd Hicks will have the spotlight on him. He's turned heads in a short amount of time, as you guys have seen for yourself if you're no stranger to the series, but he's been slumping a little bit over his recent games, and it might be hard to change his fortune against a 7'3" junior on LaSalle, a man named Grant Puckett, who's enjoying a career year for the Explorers currently. He's a little inefficient percentage-wise for a guy his size, but he's got skill and leads this team in scoring at this point in the season. LaSalle struggled over the years, but they're always a gritty team with athletic ability, so we're going to see if Lloyd Hicks can break the slump here in the A-10 opener against probably his toughest matchup of the year so far. As you can see here, the two skyscrapers meet at center court, and it's going to be a player lock game, as you can see. Like I said last episode, I've been trying to change up the format of this series and keep it more fresh and change up the way I present games, and I think this is a great opportunity to do just that. So getting the scoring underway is going to be Hendrick Potter, a wing on LaSalle, who I am very scared of, to be honest with you. This guy averages 7 rebounds a game, can shoot the 3, second on the team in scoring, and overall one of the best defenders in the conference. But look at Lloyd Hicks already on our first offensive possession, making an impact, grabbing an offensive board over Puckett, kicking it out to Pat Park for a second look at it as the freshman knocks it through. So Lloyd Hicks, I got to talk about him a little bit in this one, obviously. I got some stats written down as he gets the stop here on Grant Puckett as Fordham comes the other way. Big 3 here by Kai Hendry, no good, but Hicks follows and finishes. So he's responsible for creating the first 4 points on Fordham's side of things today. But his first 9 games were awesome, Lloyd Hicks. I talked about his slump a little bit. He came on the scene quick and adjusted to the college game quick as well. As look at this, he's got an opportunity for a couple more points. I don't know how you defend that. As Grant Puckett checks out, Lloyd Hicks has no one to match up with him. But he averaged 13 points a game, 9.5 rebounds roughly through his first 9. And he had some great games too, including an 18-12 game against Notre Dame, or an awesome 18-8 game against TCU in the preseason tournament. So he was awesome to begin his career, as he also forces the stop here as well. And I'm going to get back into how his final 5 games were heading into conference play in just a moment. We got to highlight Kai Hendry, who's been hot to begin this LaSalle game. 6 unanswered points for number 44 to take a 3-point lead. And Lloyd Hicks is going to hit the bench for the first time in this game and come back in with just under 2 to play. But in his last 5 games, Lloyd Hicks, not nearly as good, or even good period. 6.5 points per game, roughly 5 rebounds a game. And his worst one came in that Penn game, that blowout win that you'd expect him to shine in because the team is just so weak that you're playing. That was last episode, and he only shot 1 for 6. And he actually got benched in the second half in favor of Junior Battle as a double team comes here. But yeah, in that Penn game, we saw a lot more Junior Battle in the second half just because Hicks struggled so much. And Battle made good on his performance in that one, as we're going to take a 10-point lead into halftime of this one. Gotta like the way that Lloyd Hicks has turned it around in this one. We're up 40-30, and we're also enjoying a pretty awesome shooting day from our side of things, but we're also out-rebounding the Explorers by 8 heading into the locker room, and obviously 7 of those have belonged to Hicks, so he's been making an impact, stopping shots down low, rebounding well, and Grant Puckett is also not shooting very efficiently from the game so far. So I think he's winning the matchup in this one as he just misses a block shot on Clellan there. 11:45 to go as we're beating the press here. Nice hustle getting up the court. That's just outworking his man right there. Grant Puckett Look at him jogging up the floor. Lloyd Hicks takes advantage of his lackadaisical defense there. 12-point game, breaking the press once again. We're seeing a lot more pressure here in the second half from the Explorers as Damian Carter, nice pass over to Lloyd Hicks, puts up the up fake and draws a foul. Lloyd Hicks has actually been a solid free throw shooter here in his freshman year as well. He's averaging 68% from the charity stripe. Not bad for a 7'1" big fella. Definitely something you gotta like there. When you look at guys like Zach Edey on Purdue, or even in the NBA, Joel Embiid, look, I know he kind of sells some of those calls a lot, but at the end of the day, the guy makes 80% from the line. So big men who can make their free throws are so valuable. And look at this, Grant Puckett off the floor again, and there's just no answer for the 7'1" freshman. As he gets two more, and he's making 80% of his shots here. Fordham continues to stay in control of this one. Going through the lane, it is a LaSalle guard, as Binkala earns the foul. But I think if he let him go, I think Lloyd Hicks would have rejected that one in my opinion. But he'll check out anyway and come back in with 5.5 left to go. 64-53. It's been a really good offensive day for Fordham in this one. But Timo Cruz earns the foul on Hendrick Potter, who's got over 20 points now in the game. I told you this guy is a really tough guard for all teams, and up by 6. It's been awesome offensively for us, but we're going to need some defense down the stretch perhaps, and Lloyd Hicks is a guy who could really deliver in that department. But look at this. He hasn't had many post-ups today, so he takes the loose ball and kind of says, hey, I'll take things into my own hands. He posts up from the free throw line, puts it over his shoulder, and Lloyd Hicks gets 2 more points off the goaltending call, 69-61. He's got the double-double in this one. And it looks pretty good for Fordham here, down or up by 8 at home. And I got to take a look at this pass right here. Damian Carter, who's been top 10 in the conference in assists so far on his freshman year, delivers a beautiful pass inside to Pat Park. Really doing a good job closing out this game. Puckett at the line now, making 2 of 2. So the Explorers still hanging around. It's still under 10. But with 1:51 left to go, Lloyd Hicks explodes to the miss and gets 2 more. That will be his last bucket of the day. Offensive rebound number 7. What explosiveness displayed by the 7'1" freshman who moves better than you think. And overall, I think he outplayed Grant Puckett in a big way in this one. Lloyd Hicks earns his slump breaker that we all expected and all hoped for. And as the clock hits 0, 79-70 is your final. Fordham starts conference play 1-0. And honestly, I like the way that Lloyd Hicks plays, but it kind of stinks that we couldn't hop in and see more of this game for ourselves, because it was an awesome shooting day for the team. We exploited their zone. Kai Hendry, 5 threes. Pat Park added 3 of his own, and they both had 23 apiece whilst filling up the stat sheet. But the man in the spotlight today, Lloyd Hicks, 14-14, 2 blocks, 6 of 9 shooting. Both free throws were made, and he did an awesome job on Grant Puckett as well. So Lloyd Hicks opens up episode 43 with his slump buster. After his last 5 games were hard to watch, he gets back on the right track. And that's going to be what we need from him on a nightly basis. We all know the quality of big men here in the A-10 are incredible. So we need Lloyd Hicks to bring his A-game like that night in and night out. So Fordham will then split the next 2 games to stay above 500 in the conference. The first one is against Dayton on the road. They took this one by 10, and the Rams only allowed 51 points. An awesome defensive day for them. And Pat Park, Kai Hendry, and Hicks, they all shined again. That with another good bench performance, and it seems like that's the formula to win games. This might have been Pat Park's best career game, either this or his performance against Michigan State. The Temple game wasn't too kind for us, however, with the Owls jumping out to a 10-point first half lead and we just couldn't catch up. Damian led us in scoring with 10 out of all players, but those 8 out of 10 were from the free throw line, so that should tell you how ugly this game was on offense for us. We're going to have an opportunity to bounce back, however, in Cranston, with Fordham traveling to URI up next. I like to call this game the Ramble, as the Rhode Island Rams still seek their first conference win. They're going to try to get it from the Fordham Rams, but you do got to feel for them. They had to open up against the defending A-10 champs, Xavier, then 2 ranked teams in St. Joe's and George Washington, so don't let the 0-4 standing fool you. This could be a trap game. As DeMarcus McLeod, he's been a solid role player for URI the first 3 years of his series, but now takes the role of leader and go-to scorer on this team. Lots of good sneaky shooting on this team as well. This could be another great game for Lloyd Hicks to shine, however, as there's two underclassmen starting in the front court for the Rhode Island Rams this season, as we already earned a steal here in the opening seconds, out to a nice lead. And Damian Carter's three-point shooting, I keep expecting it to finally regress, law of averages and all that stuff. Well, he still keeps hitting threes somehow, despite not having the best three-point rating. And right now, it's just an offensive clinic to begin this game, jumping out to a 10-point lead, nice backdoor cut, and a devastating screen set there by Hicks. Pat Park gets two. 23-15 game now. Some bench guys come in. Timo, Dustin Black, and Chen Lee to name a few. Tyler Rosario for three. He's one of those sneaky shooters I told you about. He leads the Rhode Island bench in points, assists, and three-point makes on the year. As Chen Lee, nice move drawing multiple defenders, and Pat Park will answer right back. It's great to see this offense bounce right back after that disgustingly bad game against Temple. They were 2 of 10 from 3, well under 50% as a team, and Damian Carter led us in scoring in that one. But Chen Lee, another jumper goes. He continues to just turn it around. Well, not turn it around. He's actually been playing good basketball. He continues to develop that jump shot, and he also is coming off his best career performance last episode where he had 11 and 5 against NC State. Timo Cruz now wants to get in the offensive fun. His three-point percentage hasn't been as high as you would expect it. I think he's only shooting like 32% from the line. I know it's in the low 30s, but hey, he's still making threes here and there, and Dustin Black's forcing turnovers, and he's dunking it down on the press and providing that spark we all have come to expect on a nightly basis for our team captain, Dustin Black. So we're going to head into halftime, dropping 44 on the Rhode Island Rams. Everyone's having a fun time out here. We gotta like the way we turned it around, beating them on the glass bad, only one turnover on the game, and we're back to our three-point shooting ways, 4 of 9. And it's good to see us forcing some turnovers in this game as well, as that's actually something that's gotten worse since last year. As a team, we don't force as many turnovers as the year 3 squad. So that's something I definitely want to see change a little bit moving forward. But we're up by 13 as Alexi Bennett gets the bounce right there. He's the starting big man. He's a freshman, 6'8", from Rhode Island. Many guys up here from the Eastern Seaboard. They don't recruit very far out. We got their best player, DeMarcus McLeod from Providence, Nate Jenny, their third leading scorer from Somerville. Here's Eugene Rivera, who's from New York, and we'll find Nate Jenny for 3. Speaking of the devil, he's had a couple baskets to start his second half on the right foot. And the Rhode Island Rams, with some timely shooting, they're starting to chip their way back into this one. They've cut it down to only one possession. We gotta run a good set here. Lloyd Hicks, high post, double team. What a pass! Damian Carter and Lloyd Hicks link up for a big one there. Rhode Island shooting has definitely come around for sure, but the offense has been rough so far here in the second half. Only 10 points as a team to this point, but we're starting to turn it around there. Nice stop. Damian Carter outlet to Kai Hendry as he gives it back to Damian Carter. The sets are starting to look a lot better. Crossover inside, and Damian Carter slithers his way to 2 more points. He's got 13 in this one of his better scoring days on his freshman year. And we're making this lead very comfortable like it was in the first half. And it's great to see that coming back around here with only 4 minutes to go. It's looking really good for the Fordham Rams to win 3 out of their first 4 conference games on the year. Nice drive and dish out by Dustin Black to make it a 14-point game. That's pretty much all she wrote in this one. 70-56 will be your final, as Fordham makes it 3 of 4 to begin the conference slate. It was a little bit off, got a little bit scary there for a little bit where the offense went cold. We only made 4 points in the first 10 minutes, but then we came back around and had a nice finish. We didn't panic. We closed the book on this one strong, and Damian Carter and Pat Park both led us in scoring. But definitely a lot of credit to the bench in this one, though, because when things were looking bad, when we only scored 4 points in the first 10 minutes of the half, it was the bench that came in and delivered that spark and got us back to our regular selves. So the bench definitely earns a lot of credit in this one, in the win. So nice job avoiding the trap game. This will set up the climax of this episode. We go from facing one of the last teams without a win in the A-10 to one of the final teams without a loss within the conference. The 15th ranked team in the country hosts us to finish episode 43 with a bang. If we can get by the Billikens, that'll be 4 of 5 wins to begin the A-10 action this year, but it's going to be a tall order to do just that. Playing ranked A-10 teams hasn't gone so well for us in the past. I think the only win we have over one is Charlotte in simulation last year, and besides, St. Louis has looked unbeatable to begin their slate in league play. They handled Xavier and swept the season series against Charlotte, including a 27-point beatdown just the other day. However, despite the blowout, Coach Carter leaves no detail to go unnoticed, and he actually checked the game logs and possibly found a way to control this game and give us a better shot. They let DeAndre Perry drop 32 points on them. They also allow 10 free throws and 8 boards as well. The Billikens lack an interior presence inside, starting a 6'5" freshman, as you can see in the bottom right of your screen, at the center spot. This means Lloyd Hicks, who's been breaking his cold streak this episode, has a chance to be in the spotlight tonight. Coach Carter wants to hand him the keys to the offense tonight as he wins the tip. That's our ticket to hang with this seemingly unstoppable group. The adjustments don't end there, though, as we'll see in 1 second. And look at this. St. Louis already trying to double team, and they already can't handle him. They foul him to begin the game. But we're also going to make adjustments on defense as well. Hendry's going to take Terrell Desmond, the point guard, as Pat Park and Damian Carter switch on to Deontay Culver and Josh Puente, the two very skilled wings on their team. As I believe both players were first team all A-10 last year and look to repeat that for sure this season. On the other side of things, Kaya Hendry will begin this game with a bang, a 3-point play on the break. This is one that I want to see him do well in because he's going to have to face one of those guys. He's going to be matching up against Josh Puente, who's 6'7". And as we all know, as Lloyd Hicks puts 2 more back on the board, nicely done there. But as we all know, Kai Hendry struggles with length on both offense and defense over the years. He doesn't do that well against bigger guys than him, so he's going to need to prove that he can in this one to win this game. Culver with the steal, with the lob up to Josh Puente. And you're getting an early introduction at their dynamic duo. Those two, plus their point guard Terrell Desmond, these three, I should say, are the three-headed monster I talked about earlier. All can shoot the three, all are athletic. And if you can't limit the damage that these guys, possess or put on the board, then you're going to have a very long night. So that's why we're switching up our defensive schemes. We're going to have Kai Hendry on the point guard Desmond and let Damian Carter and Pat Park, our 2 top defenders, take the 2 star-studded wings as look at Bennett Pincala getting his hands on the steal. Lloyd Hicks unhooked the trailer, big fella. Coast to coast, number 32. Getting the steal there. I love the start to this game as the Billikens not looking like their regular selves. A missed layup there by a bench player. 8:24 left to go. Been a bit of a slog here in this one, but take a look at this dime by Dustin Black. He's had a couple of beautiful passes in this one, and then you can add this one to the highlight reel. Him and Kai Hendry just on the same page. And you gotta like the start that Fordham is showing in this one. Not backing down, not scared against the number 15 team in the country. We've only allowed 15 points to them as well. Another stop here as Carter finds Dustin Black. And Timo Cruz proving he can do more than chuck him up. Nice job filling the lane on the break. And Fordham has their biggest lead of the contest. Timeout, St. Louis. The Billikens and there's home crowd a little quiet here as Fordham's come in and they've played extremely well. And look at this, we're going to go back in the post. Lloyd Hicks against Wegwu, who's only 6'5". He opens up so much for this offense just with his presence. Lloyd Hicks drawing so much defense, and the ball reversal goes to Junior Battle, who has the lane, and by the time they rotate back, they just can't stop Junior Battle. This is a St. Louis squad who's coming off of an 80-point game against one of the best defensive teams in the conference, Charlotte. And they are not looking like themselves. It took them all this time to make their first 3. There's Culver, who cashes in. The defensive rotation just a little bit too slow on that one, as Lloyd Hicks is in the post. He opens up yet another good look for Kai Hendry, who doesn't take it. Instead, he'll come off a screen like this setup as Kai Hendry from way downtown. Now, we finally have our first three-pointer. Both teams really doing their damage in the paint, but finally back-to-back threes from both sides. They both get on the board from downtown. 31-26, trying to keep this at least 2 possessions, but Terrell Desmond, the smallest guy on the floor, will grab the board, and Damian Carter is at fault for the foul. That's actually his 3rd personal here of the first half. Him guarding the bigger guy in Culver and Puente, obviously he's had to give some fouls up, and that's his 3rd, which you don't want to have to surrender with 4.5 to go. So we're going to see a lot more Dustin Black in the second half, I'm guessing. But 31-28, Fordham has the lead and has pretty much had the lead for most of this game against the 15th ranked team in the country. Once again, another great rebounding day. Lloyd Hicks leading us in scoring. He's made all the difference. He's opened up so much for our offense against one of the quickest teams, and not only the conference but in the country as well. And it's great to see him really respond after his last 5 previous bad games. He's put together 3 awesome games so far in this episode. But we still gotta have to go. As we all know, as we've all seen in the past, St. Louis can turn it on whenever they want. So you gotta keep playing like we've been playing, as Terrell Desmond finally hits one. I think he was only 1 for 5 in the first half from the field. But yep, there's a silky smooth jump shot that he's got. And the good news is, though, with Damian Carter out, at least Dustin Black, who's 6'4", can match up with Puente, as Pat Park still sticks on Culver, as he actually makes a jumper there, as that's not been a pretty common sight for either team, as Fordham now improves to 2 for 10 shooting from 3. But with the damage we've been doing inside the arc and how much Hicks has been opening up for us, we haven't needed the 3-point shot. As Hendry, look at this, taking his man off the dribble. I gotta highlight Kai Hendry as well. 1-on-1 against Culver, just blows right past him, gets his hips turned, and he is off and running. Look at Kai Hendry. A lot of height in there, and a lot of height he's been facing in this game, but he's been delivering. And that's, like I said pregame, something I wanted to see him do well against. I wanted to see him go up against some bigger guys and do well, because he's been struggling like that against guys like that his whole career. 2 seconds to go. How about 3 more for Kai Hendry? The offense was looking for someone to bail him out, and as the shot clock hits 0, Kai Hendry downtown once again. 7:34 to go, 8-point advantage for Fordham. They're playing great and forcing St. Louis into bad stops. Look at this, they're pressing. No one's back on defense either. The Billikens making mistakes over and over again. They're starting to press, and I don't know how they just let Kai Hendry have the open court like that. They took a terrible shot, and nobody was covering the top, as Hendry's got free reign to punch in 2 more. Take a look at the bench cheering on their man, as Hendry continues to become the team captain we all expected here in Season 4. Under 5 to play. It's not over yet, but it's looking good for Fordham. 6 to shoot on this possession. It's another shot clock dwindling type possession. Pat Park from the free throw line. A tough shot, but he gets it to fall. Fordham knocking down their looks. They've run a lot of great sets here in the second half, and this was another one. A pin down screen to free up Pat Park, just enough for the jumper. 4 to play now. Terrell Desmond, he's had a tough one in this one as he looks to turn it around. The southpaw Culver beats Pat Park off the dribble. He's got 16, so he's gotten his. And here we go, trying to break this press. We do, as we barely turn it over against the Billikens today. That's also been great to see. We've been playing a slow tempo, just playing our game and not letting the Billikens press us or force us into mistakes both in the half court and on their press. 8 to go as Lloyd Hicks with the rare turnover, though, trying to take advantage of the mismatch, but Henry Conran takes it away, and Culver drops in 2 more. So a rare mistake there for the Rams today as Lloyd Hicks attacks. And take a look at this. He makes up for the mistake. The 15th ranked team in the country will be down by 3 possessions if Hicks makes this free throw. But 12 points for Lloyd as he gets it done again. It's a 6-point advantage for the Fordham Rams with 1:20 to go, trying to make this only the second time we've beaten a ranked A-10 team in this entire series so far. Desmond only with 6 points, but he does make the shot as St. Louis continues to stay around. They're not gone just yet. As the crowd is on their feet, the student section trying to make noise to disrupt this offense that's been in a groove today. 60 seconds to go. Pat Park from the elbow, kick out. Hendry, great look, it's short, but Pat Park cleans it up. And now we can sit on the ball. 30 seconds to shoot, a fresh shot clock. Now I'm starting to like our odds a lot. 24 to go. 42 on the game clock. Hicks with the elbow, ISO, bounce pass, Hendry all day. That'll take us home. Hendry with 19, that's all she wrote. Too much for the St. Louis Billikens to handle. The Rams walk in here to the Scottrade Center and defeat the 15th ranked team in the country 66-59. And it was great to see them do this after struggling against some ranked teams recently, or some premier programs. Like, we almost beat NC State, but we just didn't have enough gas in the tank, and then we got worked by Notre Dame the second time around. It was nice to see us play up with the 15th ranked team in the country, and I know we only won by 7, but I feel like we dominated this team a lot more. They really did not sniff the lead all that much, with Lloyd Hicks getting the game ball in this one for sure. He earned it, with Hendry also having 19 and a prove-it game for him as well against some very tall and talented competition. But overall, man, what a game from Fordham they displayed today. This team is really developing quicker than we could have imagined, and I think it's just not a good matchup for St. Louis in this one. I'd be scared to face guys like St. Joe's or Charlotte in a playoff game. I don't think I'm that scared to face St. Louis in a playoff game with how we match up against this one, against this team. This right here is my favorite spot, or favorite part of beating a top 25 team, to see how far they fell in the recent polls, but they only have St. Louis dropping 2 spots in the most recent media poll. Kind of shocked to only see that against an unranked team like us, but hey, maybe that means that the committee is giving us some respect. Anyway, we will wrap up this episode here, but we're gonna have another awesome one next time out. So we've won 4 or 5 to begin conference play, right? Well, we're gonna get George Washington next episode, and St. Bonnie's arguably the best defensive team in the conference. But we're gonna get 4 games that we could win. We're gonna get Dayton next episode. We're gonna get LaSalle, 2 teams that we've already beaten, and then we're gonna get Richmond as well, and the Duquesne Dukes as well too. So that's 4 games that we could win. 2 teams we've already beaten in that group. And then obviously St. Bonaventure is never an easy game, and then we're also gonna have to face the top 15 team in the country in George Washington. But overall, I'm still very excited, especially the way that we kind of throttled St. Louis there. I'm excited to face another top team in the country in GWU, a team that we actually upset in the A-10 tournament last year, so I'm sure they're going to be hungry for revenge. So that'll end off the episode here, guys. This is a very successful episode. We won 4 or 5 to begin A-10 play, and an easy schedule is approaching, so this could be very awesome for our team, and we could really make some damage in the A-10 standings early on in the season. So hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. This is College Sports Revive signing out, and I hope you stay tuned for more. Peace, everybody. Hope you have a great night. Hope you enjoyed as well.